The purpose of these episodes is not to create anxiety, but to bring awareness. Now, everybody's situation is different, so it's difficult to give blanket recommendations, but how do we proceed? How do we respond? Well, first, we should use wisdom, and there is some hope here. Now, we use wisdom. We do what we can to prepare both to mitigate the worst of potential disruptions and in the hopes of opportunity, which we'll come back to. But what's the hope? Well, let me say, I have to give credit where credit is due. My friend Ken Matava, one of my very good friends, drew my attention to this. So I do give him the credit. But 1 Corinthians 10:13, so many translations say no temptation has overtaken you except is common to man. But in reality is that word for temptation actually means trial. No trial, no challenge, no painful season has overtaken you except is as common to man. Now, sometimes I think those kinds of trials are more of a temptation because it's not a temptation to sin, but it's a temptation to give up. But that's a side note. But it goes on. So no trial has come over you except is common, but God who is faithful will make a way out. So God will carry his people through these challenges. But one lesson I've learned over the years is those who want to bury their head in the sand, God will carry them. God is always faithful and he will carry them through. But those who go to God with expectation, both in faith that he will carry them through, but also seeking him, looking for opportunity, will not just be carried through, they will thrive and they will have a greater impact. Whether it's the entrepreneur looking for the opportunity, God, where should they refocus? But everyone has the opportunity. I want to give a great example. My really good friend Memos, who's in Athens, Greece. And Memos and I had this conversation earlier this year where they recognize the challenge. And so what's he doing? He's asking his people in his church to sacrifice. Now, you have to understand, Greece is being hit much worse than many parts of the world. Energy costs are just outrageous, etc. But Memos is asking his people to sacrifice and to bring in a liter of olive oil, a kilo of pasta, a kilo of rice, something that can be shared so the church can accumulate and reach out into the community and impact, help those, serve those who are being hit the hardest by these. And in doing so, expand the impact and the influence of the gospel. So how should we respond? Well, again, if we do nothing but bury our head in the sand, God will be faithful to his people and carry them through, help them bear it. But let's not just bear it. Let's have an expectation. Let's apply faith, apply wisdom, and expect God to show us how we can not just bear through it, survive, but actually thrive.